We're going to be going live while you're waiting. Follow our socials if you get a moment. Yes, people. How are we doing? It's Friday evening. It's the end of the working week. Hopefully, everyone is ready and prepared for the weekend to have a nice chilled one, a nice relaxed one. A bit of an impromptu live one this evening. A couple of friends have just released an EP of some music. Got me thinking about music within games and soundtracks and scores. I know it's something that we discussed a couple of weeks ago on a live chat then, and people gave their thoughts and comments, and just thought it'd be an appropriate time to follow that up off the back of a couple of mates, a couple of close, very good friends that have just released some music of their own. Before we get into that, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's shown support over the last few weeks by following the page, whether that be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, everything else. I think we've hit just over 250 likes on the Facebook page, so that's all thanks to you guys. Massive appreciation for that. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, keep spreading the word, and I'll keep trying to bring something to you guys to keep you entertained. So as I say, a couple of close friends of mine coming up very shortly, who are going to be talking about music within games, talking about their own musical influences growing up, and a few other bits and bobs around that. So we will be back rather shortly with those guys coming up. Sit tight, I'll see you in a moment. So we are back. We are back. I hope everyone can hear me all right. I haven't quite checked these microphone levels, but I'm assuming they work okay. So yeah, as I mentioned just before that little break, coming up we've got Martin and Brandon, two very close friends of mine, who are making some big movements on the local music scene over in Leicester. And they're gonna chat to us a little about their music, about their influences growing up, um, and about games as well. They're both big fans of games and about music within games, and questions in and around that. So, boys, unmute yourselves and come get involved.
Big up.
How you doing, man? How you
we,
doing?
we we come up with a pre-built soundboard.
We're doing good though, man. How you doing?
Yeah,
Good?
all good, man.
Sure, the levels are right. Yeah, the levels. Yeah. Oh, big up. Love to Troy for inviting us. You know what I mean? That's my homeboy since we met at work. We had we had an interview together. I don't know. Your profanity is good, isn't it?
Profanity's good, man. Just no dropping, no dropping of the C bomb, but any other profanity.
No C bombs, no N bombs, no none of that dumb shit.
Yeah, we're past the watershed, man. So we're all good. We're all blessed.
Come on, bro. Keeping it professional still.
Come on, look.
But yeah, we started the same day. We had the interviews the same day, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It was wavy, man. And then when we linked up, I see that wavy done with the braids, and I'm like, "What are you telling me, G?" I was like, "Who do you think you are, cuz?" I was like, big man, like big Simone Dom coming up to me, and I'm like, I was intimidated, but I'm not backing up. You know me,
Big Oos.
Yeah, big Oos. And I'm like, bro, we either scrapping or we becoming mates, and we became mates.
You
so,
know, man. You know.
Drop kick.
Nah, it's good, man. It's been a strong bond and great friendship since then, man.
And if you think about it, it's only been like 2 years.
Exactly, it's weird, man. It feels like I've known you a hell of a lot longer. And the same with you, Brandon. Like I met you through Martin, and you were like, "Hey, I've got a friend. Like he's well into his wrestling. Like he loves wrestling like you." And I was like, "Man, we need to get involved. Like introduce me to this guy." And we hit it off straight away, man. I remember meeting you.
We literally met up like on our street. I just seen you walking down the street. I obviously envisioned you from the stories as this guy, and then I seen you and thought, "Right, he's a unit." And I was like, "All right, say nothing." And then I was like, I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? Obviously, probably you looking at me as well. I was like, "Yo, this My Chemical Romance kid. What's wrong with him?" And then like, bro, we got in the Uber. We didn't even get in the Uber before we was already just like non-stop talking. We dropped you off at the hotel to quickly run and get alcohol and come back. And I was like, "Yo, let's get back to Troy, man," as if I've known you for like 10 years. Come on, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing you, and my first introduction verbally from Martin was, "Oh yeah, he's well into wrestling." I saw you walking down the street. I was like, "Who's this Jeff Hardy looking motherfucker?" And your long hair, man. I was like, "Yeah, me and him are gonna get on."
For real, man.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
I got a good sense of things like that when it comes to like,
for real.
Yeah, when it comes to people and like just like personalities and stuff, like I kind of sense like who's gonna get along. Like I wouldn't introduce Brandon to people he wouldn't like get along with, or they wouldn't get along with him. I wouldn't introduce you to people like, do you know what I mean? There's no point in a way just introducing like opposites. But yeah, that was what, about 2 years now, because it's June. Yeah, literally that's when we started.
Nearly, actually, probably 2 years to the day. Like near enough. I mean, we started working together in May 2 years ago, and then it was only maybe a couple of months or so after that we kind of went out. So yeah, it's almost like ceremonious to the day sort of thing. So no, it's cool, man.
Unfortunately, with the virus, it can't be in person, but
it will be. Trust me, as soon as this lockdown thing's over and things have eased and things are settled and everything's blessed, we'll do this together in person, man, and we'll get some sippies on the go. We'll come into the studio.
We need to. You wrote, everyone. Troy's got a verse. Troy's got 16 bars that I kind of low key helped him, but more time I inspired him. He wrote himself, but he's got a 16. He's got a verse that he's gonna feature on one of our songs,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's gonna be very soon.
For real.
Because I'm pretty sure you still have that note on your phone.
I have. It's on my old phone, but it's in that wardrobe there in the bottom drawer. And if I
Come on.
scroll through my notes on it and turn that thing on, man, it is on
Plenty
there.
of
I'd
memories
like
on
to, man. I genuinely, I'd like to. Like I've always been a big fan of rap and hip hop, and always thought, yeah, I might be able to write something. I might be able to, put some lyrics on some bars and whatnot. But like never had the confidence to. But then saying that, as soon as I met you, you kind of like gave me that little bit of confidence to just at least kind of be a bit more expressive
Hey, if
with
our
that.
dumbasses can do it, you know you can do it, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's probably what gave you the confidence. You looked and thought, yo, if Jeff Hardy and Stone Cold ass looking motherfuckers can spit, then I can spit. You know what I'm saying?
You know. Nah,
But for real,
definitely.
like,
I'll do it at some point, man. Like there's some wrestling influence, like some wrestling themed
I know,
lines
yo,
in there.
the bars are sick.
Bro, I'm thinking about sampling some old entrance music into a beat, maybe a Gangrel Brood beat or
Oh,
something.
mate. For
Yeah.
anyone watching that doesn't know who the Brood are or Gangrel or has never heard their music, without a doubt, the Brood's music is in the top 5 all
Yeah.
time, like
Easily.
entrance theme tunes in wrestling.
Easily.
20
It's
years
so
after
good.
still.
Yeah, so good, so good. I'd love to hear that, man. If you can cut and paste and rip and tear that
Oh,
up, I'd love
You
to
know
hear
me
that,
and
man.
my samples, bro. I'm
I-
gonna chop that, man.
I get goose. I need to do something with the Rocks intro music.
For real,
Because
we'll
like
do a
just
whole
just
EP.
even like recalling in my head just gives me goosebumps, bro.
Yeah,
Like I was so much into. I remember like literally because even earlier I asked you about like some WWF Raw like
Mhm.
episodes and stuff, and just recalling like the memorabilia and like all these magazines. I'm pretty sure my mum kept all of it because I had like magazines, everything, anything to do with the Rock, I had it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
had it. And just thinking about that intro music just makes me like woo shiver
Yeah,
like.
man.
So therefore we need to do because earlier we was listening to the
The WWF Aggression album from
Oh,
2001.
mate, that's an awesome album.
Bro,
that's classic.
Yeah. Those
Run
first,
DMC,
yeah,
all
that first
those
handful of
classics.
albums that they brought out, man, like the Uncaged and Aggression, and
Yeah,
The
for
Uncaged
real.
there was a
one as
couple
well.
of Uncaged. That's it. Yeah, they were awesome, man. I remember like wrestling back in the day when like you'd have like big bands that would be doing music for the superstars.
Oh, for
man.
real.
And you'd
Mark
like,
Henry.
yeah, like exactly, yeah. And then like
For real.
Undertaker with like Limp Bizkit, and he used to come down
Oh,
on the
yeah,
Harley to Rolling
real.
Man.
Yeah.
And Triple
yeah.
H came through at Mania to
Motorhead.
Motorhead as well, man. Like
For
it was
real, bro.
awesome.
Like all of them had individuality to their music. And I'm not saying
Absolutely.
that like the new guys don't, because obviously Jim's not really doing
Oh, he's been
now.
sacked, isn't he, Jim?
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Jim's not doing it, but I mean, even Jim had that idea and he had that individuality. I think the new music's not really on par. I think the only ones that get it for me now are probably I like Drew McIntyre's now, and I like here and there, but there's nothing that stands out to me
there's a
anymore.
few
I mean,
like Samoa Joe's tune's pretty cool. Like it's an instrumental, like it's
good.
a like a big heavy beat.
it's
There's a
good.
few like one thing I've noticed, like for any like if you watch NXT, like in NXT they've kind of brought back to a degree on some occasions that whole live band as part of a pay-per-view.
Oh, for real, with like Alistair Black.
Yeah, like, and that's cool, man. Or like the band that kind of opens up the show, and then they maybe play one song later. Like that's really cool, man. I like that.
I loved it when like that used to happen back in the day, because it's almost like you're getting a concert as well as I mean, as well as wrestling.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the two things that all of us love. You know what I'm saying? It was
Exactly.
the ultimate treat.
Yeah, I was
You know
gonna
what I'm
say that kind of like just leads to music, and what we was talking about earlier is like you know, games and everything just links to music, and I think
Yeah.
it's a vital part of all these like entertainment you know, entertainment, not only businesses but entertainment like equities, because like if you look at like gaming, you know, wrestling, fucking hell, even like I'm just thinking of, you know, racing and motocross, like
Every
all these things, they're very like very infused musically, like all music using them, like
Absolutely.
you know what I mean, like, and it goes along because in a way music makes you and puts you in a mood, and it can trigger senses
Emotions and feelings.
yeah,
Yeah.
instantaneously, like you
Nostalgia and
Exactly. Just
For real.
different types of music triggers different types of like emotions, and you know what I mean, like all these cage fighters and UFC, like you hear like some heavy tune, whether it's
MMA, boxing,
yeah,
everything.
whether it's metal, whether it's like
Hip
whether it's
hop
like
or
hip
yeah.
hop,
Boxer,
hardcore stuff.
martial,
Yeah,
everything.
you just hear something that makes you like blood boil, like goosebumps, and you're
Yeah.
just there like I'm ready,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And whether it's as we said, whether it's that I know a lot, like even what was that? Was it Michael Phelps, the swimmer?
Yeah.
He used to
Phelps and
come in with
stuff.
the headphones, didn't he? The beats.
Yeah.
Was it the
Yeah,
beats he
for
used to
real.
wear?
Until
Yeah.
until the point like he's gonna dive, he's got his headphones on
Mm.
and he's in
Just
his
in the
in his
zone,
world.
Yeah.
So I believe like music has and is probably the only thing, because if I've said it before. We might have had that conversation before, where I say personally, for me, the most important sense is hearing, because visually you can't, even if you get a great movie, a great game, without the right music, score, soundtrack, effects, the sound design, it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. You
I
can
think
have
That I was also sorry to interrupt, but that reminds me, like, I seen this story like very very quickly. I'll just brief it, but it's like blind people say they like can see. Oh no, there's a not like a illness or a disease, but there's a thing where people, when they hear music, they see like a color,
okay, yeah,
and like the colors, like they just see the colors,
shift,
Yeah.
and then they basically what I seen this story, I think it was on Reddit or something. They had basically a friend who had that, and there was a friend who was blind. So then what they did was they played the music and they described what color was to a blind person. So instead of saying, oh, it's this color and that, obviously they don't know. They said the color blue is, let's say, and then they'll describe a lyric, and then they'll
Right.
feel it, and it's kind of like sharing the information. And
yeah,
that's how
through feeling.
powerful like music is. It's
Absolutely.
like it's crazy. Music is crazy.
I mean, if you think about it, like, you know, warm colors, that's what they call warm colors, because they give you that kind of like a warm comfort feeling. Whereas cold colors,
It's all to do with chords.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Chord progressions, like minors and majors.
minor and major.
You know
There
what
you
I mean?
go. You know, you got
It's huge,
cold
man.
and warm colors. You got
It's
minor
huge.
and major progression. So it's literally just the feelings that they provoke within. You know, it's just a chemical reaction in the body. Like I'm not a scientist to explain it properly, but
No, but you're someone that understands,
the
appreciates,
feeling,
and
the feeling.
writes music as well. So you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
you're trying to get across a certain emotion, and you know what keys specifically will get that across. So you're
100%.
best placed to kind of understand that, being a kind of a producer and writer yourselves, like both of you, man. Which brings me on to kind of a next point, and which was initially going to be my first point, is that so you guys make music. You've just dropped your second EP today.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Second EP called Special Reserve.
Special Reserve.
Special
You know.
Reserve relating to the all
To the
the
special
all the
brew.
liquor and special brews and
You on that Bulgarian moonshine there?
No, we're on
nah,
the
that's
Tiki Captain Morgan. The
Okay.
pineapple mango
Okay.
Captain Morgan.
yeah,
Nice.
the Bulgarian moonshine is running very low. So
Stock is not,
yeah,
stock is not there.
I'm
right
I'm keeping it as a save, or something that we want to savor
Yeah,
for
man.
a special occasion.
£100
Although
flight, we'll get some more. You know what I mean?
As soon as
Well,
those borders open up, man, back over there, stocking up your
yeah,
supplies.
100%.
100%. We're gonna be there in a matter of.
Assume.
I would love to say weeks, but it's not gonna be.
Yeah.
It'll be months.
But yeah, Death was Special Reserve. We called it that because it was very
Hail the captain. Hail the captain.
Hail the
You see that
captain,
comment?
that's
Hail the
it.
captain. Come on.
man like James. But yeah,
Hail the captain.
yeah, we called it Special Reserve mainly because of we're not necessarily trying to say we're alcoholics, but
You enjoy a little bit of liquor.
we enjoy that,
It
and
inspires a lot of things. It gets us in a mood.
see,
to
like
open up.
some people reach to different type of vices, let's put it that way, the easiest way to put it. I was gonna use a couple other words, but yeah, vices, to kind of unlock, maybe, or break some barriers that are within.
Yeah.
We tend to do it with liquor. We don't really ever use anything else when we make music, and I personally never used it. So yeah, like, well, I'm talking about myself. I know you, but that's again, like that's personal journeys and
Each
stuff.
to their own, man. Like everyone,
Yeah,
as
100%.
you say, their vices and.
I think as all three of us being like young men,
Yeah.
I feel like with alcohol, probably for all three of us, it opens up that like expression of being able to express ourselves in our each own creative ways. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, man.
being sober, a lot of young people, like, I mean, I'm blessed to be open and always be open about, both of you know we've had a lot of deep
yeah,
times.
Hmm.
I'm super open and I'll just say anything. But like it also helps me to get super open where I can put it into a song.
And be
And
creative and channel it. Yeah.
yeah, and at
yeah,
face value, it lets me like air it out. But at face value, you might see the music as me just saying a lot of dumb things, which I do. But if you actually deepen it and look at it,
Mm.
there's a message behind everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like
yeah.
with the title Special Reserve, it just kind of helps us. It's kind of like a key to a broken door. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree, man.
Gotta nudge it in, open it up,
um,
and you.
just quickly go into the comments before we carry on this conversation. Simon says, you can put two different tracks over a video, and each one will convey a different message. It's exactly
100%.
what we're saying. Like
Yeah, a million
music and
percent.
stuff will make all the difference to, like you say,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
whether it's a film or a game or anything else. Yeah, hugely
A
agreed.
million percent. 100%
Um,
agree with
so you were just saying, so you just dropped your second EP,
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
and you're both based in Leicester. Like, how would you describe repping the L?
Come
How would you
on.
describe your, like, what sort of music is it, and where do you take your influences from for your music?
I'll let you go first this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like basically we I don't know like if we're talking about the sound of the actual EP, we've not drawn any particular inspiration. It was more, and that's why hence the name Special Reserve. We was just like on. We went to Bulgaria, my homeland. We had like a few shows, like we like a little Euro tour that we was kind of impromptu as well. And it was like great, and I know two of my boys are there that we do music with. But for Brandon, that's his first encounter with them.
For
He's
real.
he's known about them, he's heard about them, their music, but he's never like met them. So I was like, that's gonna be crazy, and we definitely need to create
Capture that.
something, capture this
Mm,
Mhm.
in a form. And what best form to do it is the music, because that's what we do. So
of course.
it was like, okay, let's we're gonna make something like an EP. And yeah, eventually, like literally after a week of just staying over one of my boys because he got his flat, we just stayed with him, drinking a lot of rakia, moonshine, and just making music, man. We were just making music, chilling, going out, and just like capturing the moment. So I mean, that's kind of like how the EP came along. But if you're talking about music influences, yeah, this is. I mean, even in some of the flows and the actual bars, you can hear from Brandon. It goes by Koshe. You can hear like influences from G Unit, Eminem, Tony Ayo, Eminem, Fiddy. We even have like a little 50 Cent like interview skit in between
Yeah,
in
man.
in the first song,
I had to. I had
and
to
that's
put it in.
between that's the kind of like a little break in the middle of the track. And then my sound is very like, I don't know, it's weird because English is my second language. So when I do Bulgarian, it's like more old school, I'd say, sound. But when I come to English, I'm like,
It's hard to compare it.
it's hard. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
I'd say it's kind of like almost like a Bone Thugs. I mean, coming from me who can only interpret like 25% of it, I'd say flow and
Yeah.
like when it's obviously translated to me, it's kind of like I'd say like a Bone Thugs and Harmony type
Okay.
vibe where it's very choppy and it's new school for the old school. So it's still
Yeah.
old school, but it's not like it's literally it's not like Slick Rick. It's not like Rick James in the old school.
TikTok
It's
motherfuckers, come on.
it's
Bless,
Rick
man.
James. It's
Rick
not like that.
James,
It's more
bitch.
like it's that new school. It's that old like Southside Houston,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
New York kind of like choppy all over the place.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I'm
like I
saying?
like I like switching it up as well. Like if you listen to the bars I do, like it's I can have 16 bars and each 4 bars are different, like different flow.
100%. But
Um
it all seamlessly comes together because
yeah.
of the languages. crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Yeah, my influences are 50 Cent and just like old school hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like, yeah, as you said, Bone Thugs and Memphis, Southside music. Like UGK and
Mhm.
Bone Thugs, and then we get like 3 6 and then 50 and I don't know. I just like switching it up. I like switching it up, and more time I kind of like pick up a melody first and then I write my lyrics.
For real.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
even with the sippy sippy, I was like,
100%.
no, 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 no. I kind of like
For
start
real.
humming a melody, and then I kind of like put words that will fit
Yeah.
in the flow. I
We
kind
were
of
both
working.
just like humming to the like you came up with the melody like
It has to Luego as well.
yeah, literally it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
I
And
was
then
listening to that today, man. Working from home, had that in the headphones. That's a big song, man. Anyone
But
watching that
Love.
hasn't heard that, man, check out 1712 on Spotify, YouTube, and whatnot, and check out that tune, man. It's big.
Hasta
My
Luego. That's how he came along. I made the instrumental, and it was like that Spanish
it was like a
guitar.
throwaway beat as well.
Yeah,
to be fair.
it was just a beat I had, but it was like a Spanish guitar, and then just kind of like a mellow beat, and then I was like,
For real.
and I was like, but that
But just the cadence, you know what I mean?
it was Bexy does that, so I
Yeah,
was
for
kind of
real,
like, but
for real.
Bexy follows that even
He's very Bone Thugs.
he's very
Very
Bone Thugs.
Bone Thugs.
So that's what I mean. My flow was because I know Bone Thugs and I know Bexy, who is a new school artist, but he uses an old school flows where he's
And
like,
he's UK as well.
and he's from like
London.
from London.
Like West Ham side. Like
Yeah.
whatever it is, you know what I mean?
So I was like, na 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 na.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is Bone Thugs as fuck. That's
100%.
Bone Thugs as fuck. So what you said right now makes me. I don't even realize what I do half of the time.
That's
I
what
just
I'm
do
saying. I feel like we recognize each other more than we recognize ourselves.
exactly because it's
Yeah.
like I do something that I feel, but it's just because I feel it. Same with him, and then we kind of like analyze it. And it's like I know what that is,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like I know what that is.
For real. And with Hasta Luego, I think like
Yeah.
my flow, I was struggling because that's not my type of beat. Like we work on two different beats. He's more of like a
Melodic.
I'd say like a melodic like R&B, but like R&B hip hop like clash. Whereas I'm more on like the trap hip hop where it's like oh da 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 da. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
it was hard for me. So I literally channeled into like artists that I like, and my flow is literally based on like SL, which is a UK drill artist, and I don't
Okay.
do drill. So I don't do drill. It's like 140 to 144 BPM, and like I'm usually like a 125 or like a 180, and I'll do like a 90 BPM old school.
So it's a
flow.
good few steps up.
Yeah,
For real, it was a bit different. So I'm like, I was
because
like,
the beat is 136, so it's literally sitting in between 120 like
Exactly.
5, 128,
it was a
and
bit of an
144.
offset for me.
So
So
like halfway there.
exactly, and I can do fast, but it's weird because it wasn't even like a 130 something type beat. It was more like a 68 BPM type flow to get it. But I'm like, right, what do I do? And then SL for me just came into my head because I listened to him quite a lot, and his flow isn't drill. It isn't. You know what I mean? It's more like it's basically the flow that I had, and I'm like, well, that kind of works. And even after I wrote the lyrics for the song, I turned to Marty and I was like, I'm gonna cut it because it's too similar.
Right.
But then he was like, nah, forget it because it's different. So I was like, okay, cool. So I think for me, like inspiration wise, like bro, growing up, it wasn't like, trust me, like I was on 50 but then I was on like Sean Paul and like I was on like Green Day and I'm like bro,
Bubba Sparks.
I remember Bubba Sparks, man. Wow, that's a bit of a throwback.
I'm not gonna lie, growing up, especially with like, because obviously I've got two siblings being born in 90 and 92. Bro, we didn't have internet till 2010. Like I was a 90s kid being born in 99. I was watching WWE like I my first memories of 2003, 2004, like DX and Kane, like Triple H just burying the whole rock. So like and obviously I was playing with like WEC dub like figures and EC like I was old school. So I grew up on like Slipknot and Korn.
Well,
and so my flow was a bit like crazy. I'm like, well, what can I do? So then I'd listen to like Spit It Out, and I'd listen to Corey Taylor, like Spit It Out, you will never want to hold me down.
Yeah.
So like I kind of had that, and I'm like, well, if I can interpret that with like a bit of Eminem, and a bit of like
Drill.
a bit of drill, but then a bit of like even like Skepta. Because I realized my voice is that deep where I can't really sing. Like I can sing and I can hold a note with the auto tune, like it will work. But because it's so deep, I don't want to sound like trees are green, red roses too. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like some Frank.
You missed your calling in life there, man. That's what you should have been doing.
You know what I mean? Like, even some like Johnny Cash, like because Johnny Cash I used to listen to since I was like 6. Or like Bill Cosby, like that's what I grew up on. Or UB40. I was like an old kid.
I mean, Bing Cosby, not Bill. Don't get confused. That's dangerous water. Nah.
There's a lot of liquor.
It's a lot of sippy. I get you.
But that brings me back to
Bing Cosby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That brings me back to Johnny Cash and Tony Hawk's, because that's how I discovered.
I'm sure Troy's gonna introduce us on to.
That's how I discovered Johnny Cash.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, kind of switching gears. Like, firstly, I was gonna say, kind of your music taste outside of kind of the immediate rap, hip hop of stuff that you produce. But then moving on to kind of games, music within games, if you like, and kind of those songs that, you know, stood out to you in specific games. So like, aside from hip hop, and I know you just touched on it then, B, you know, like Johnny Cash, Bing Cosby, and stuff like that. What other musical kind of things do you guys listen to and have enjoyed previously outside of hip hop rap?
I think we're like relatively similar, but on extreme scales. So we like alternative, like, so let's say the medium ground for us is probably like alternative rock and a bit of pop punk. But then like
industrial,
So then, but like you'll go on it on more of like a softer approach, and I'll go on it on more of a heavy approach. So like for me, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly, like, I listen to a lot of hip hop, a lot of rap, but what I like to chill to, which is ironic to what the music is, what I like to chill to is I literally listen to like Slipknot, Korn Effects, like Infant Annihilator, Parkway Drive, like Architect. Like I listen to like heavy shit. To me, that shit's sick. And then like You Me at Six and Bring Me the Horizon, like You Me at Six is like my all-time favorite band. You know what I'm saying? And then it's funny, like the way that I'm hopping on rap, but then a lot of people can't actually realize that you can rap, but then you can listen and you can be influenced by a lot of these bands just lyrically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
no, I agree, man.
Because for me, like what you're saying is exactly the same, but on the other extreme where I grew up on Linkin Park. Like I've known like Hybrid Theory and Evanescence, exactly. Like I grew up on that side of metal and rock, where it was
Hollywood Undead.
Literally, I was listening to Hollywood Undead, Linkin Park, Evanescence. You know, what was it? 3 Days Grace.
For real, like
all that kind of exactly.
Like,
so this was
like
my kind of pop punk. So I grew up on that stuff, and knowing like especially Linkin Park. Mike Shinoda, he's lyrically fucking great. Like he spits, and like, he's the way he spins it. Prodigy
with their hip hop like scratching, even Slipknot. That's where like I come in as well. Like he's more like Prodigy, and I'm more like Slipknot. Where, like even Sid in Slipknot with like the scratching. Like he comes in later on, and on tracks he'll plug in his turntables and just scratch on it. And
have you heard his solo stuff? Is it DJ Starscream? He's named himself after the Transformer. Sid from Slipknot, I think, goes under a different alias of DJ Starscream. And does some stuff under that as well. So yeah.
He goes like Stone Sour, and Joey Jordan's got his own like Dolls like band. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Like
I've seen a couple of bands he's been like, was it Wednesday 13? I think he was in there. I saw them years ago at the Birmingham Academy.
And that's the thing, like
it's the Murder Dolls as well.
Stone Sour is wavy because it's Corey and Jim Root as well. Like Jim, the guitarist from Slip. They're like Stone Sour shit's like a lot chiller, and it's more of like the later on albums. It's not like Iowa, because Iowa's like the heavy.
Iowa's
and then like
visceral album, man. That's brutal.
For real. Yeah. And then like Make Die, like the first one before Corey's even in it. That's more of like a instrumental thing. But then like volume three, and then like All Hope Is Gone is it kind of goes a bit more chill, but then the
It
later
sounds more like Stone Sour stuff. Like it's a
exactly
little more melodic in places, whereas everything before that was just kind of like dry and raw and just kind of visceral and brutal and just kind of like against the grain sort of stuff. Whereas you
and
can
then
tell, like, I think in between those albums, there wasn't like a hiatus, but it was kind of like Corey went off and clearly did more Stone Sour stuff than anything else.
yeah,
And then
there
that
was a lot.
influenced it kind of coming back in for their later albums where you were like, yeah, I can see that's fed into it a
Yeah,
lot more.
it's like during Iowa, the second album, there was a lot of like personal issues, like substance abuse and shit. So a lot, I mean, like during the Iowa album, everyone hated each other and they wanted to split up, but they just got through it. And there was so much stuff going on to the point where like most of the members hate Iowa, but it's the album they're most known for.
It's like a definitive
tends
sort of
to be-
album. Yeah, yeah.
It tends to be a lot for artists. Like a lot of albums that people hate, people actually like. Like for Eminem, we like Encore and Relapse because we're that later generation where we were born or like young during the first like Slim Shady and Marshall. But then like with Slipknot, I feel like it's one of them where when they got signed to like Roadrunner, so like they got signed for like 500K for 7 albums.
Bro,
which was nothing.
that album that you showed me, the Roadrunner album, fucking crazy.
Oh, the Roadrunner 25 album.
Yeah, 2005, 2006.
Yeah, it was like the anniversary of the label, and they just got everyone and anyone that had been part of the label, and just man.
That's what I mean. Roadrunner are crazy, but they did finesse. Like back in the day, 500K for 7 albums.
Yeah,
and then like if you think about it, Slipknot, it's just bro. There's 9 members. That's what like you're talking.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot of bread to break between 9 people.
For real, that's 51 grand per person.
I mean, like it's a decent amount of money, but for the amount that time, effort, blood, sweat, tears that goes into making that album, that's not.
It's not a rap album. I'm not putting down on rap or hip hop, but bro, we can. If we let's say did it like Slipknot, we moved in together and we lived together throughout the album stage. We could get probably in the space that they do an album like 6 months. In 6 months, if we live together, bro, we could put out like 8 albums, right? Because we can just produce. We can produce like 3 tracks a day, whereas they'll take like a week or like 2-3 weeks on a song. That's what I mean. It's crazy, fam. Like if you think about it, 6 months for an album, there's 7 albums, bro. That's literally like 3.5 years on 51 grand for 3 years, bro. That's less than minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you, man. I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think for me, it's like Slipknot and the heavy shit, and for him, Linkin and like,
well, mainly Linkin Park.
Yeah, literally, I know you love Linkin, like crazy.
I was like, damn, like I was fully obsessed with Linkin, bro. Hybrid Theory was my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can even see some of my flows as well. On Expectations, one of the tracks I've got, and Justin Timberlake. I mean, for me, it was like literally a mixture of like Justin Timberlake.
Rushing out to buy Justify, that first album was just like, oh, this is good.
Yeah,
I think I remember buying that, but I was probably.
That's a good album.
Mine was like sexy back.
I'm bringing sexy back. Was it burnt that on LimeWire on my CD? I used to make mixtapes at like 7. Like,
I've told you how I used to re-record tapes.
For real, yeah, we used to do tapes like, bro. I think
tape packs, yeah, man. Like my mixtape tapes, yeah.
For real, like my first album I bought was Green Day American Idiot, but like growing up with my brother, back then, obviously, my brother being born in 1990, that was the whole racing Ford Fiestas and cars,
Max Power era sort of thing.
Literally, bro, like putting Nos in like a little Punto, bro. Like I grew up on subwoofers, no like straight monitors with sub for the bass. It was just straight subwoofers, and we used to put my teddies on a subwoofer and listen to Will Smith Big Willie style and Craig David and garage mixtapes on cassettes. Like that's it. Like
H2O.
Like Marty can tell you, garage is like another one of my big loves, isn't it? Like it's not bars. Like lyrically, I don't spit garage, but when I produce, I sample so many old school garage.
I love garage, man. Like garage is one of those weird ones. Like for me, it almost feels like a guilty pleasure because you say to people, like garage, like what, like Craig David? You're like, nah. There was more to garage than that. If you know garage, then like garage was good, man. Like really,
For
really
real?
good.
Yeah, I
man.
mean, even So Solid Crew, like they were
So solid crew.
they were
I
big.
got 21 seconds ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
I got 21 seconds ago.
But I was introduced
Oh
to
my
that when I
God.
was like, 9, 10 years old when I was coming over here.
Probably introduced to like MC Devo before, like 21
MC
seconds.
Devil, mate.
MC
MC
Devil.
Devo got, oh my God.
I was like 15,
Tell him the
16.
story quick time, bro. Like, oh my God.
MC Devil, well, he came through skateboarding, really, because I was skateboarding with the lads from Leicester, and they were like pretty much my age or a bit younger. So we was all like around 15, and then one day they uploaded like a little skate compilation of their like just footage, and it had like a MC Devil track on it. It's like I'm only way muffin, I'm missing, trespassing, crystal muffin. I'll kick your head in. I'll kick your head in. And it's like I was like, wait, what track is that? That's crazy. That's some crackhead rap. I'm like, fuck with that. And yeah, I figure out like that's MC Devil, and then yeah, just delve into it. But no, yeah, garage. Yeah, when I was like about 10, and hearing like H2O, T2, like
Oxide and Neutrino.
yeah, all these
Bro.
bangers, bro, and then So
Yeah,
Solid
man.
Crew, and just a crazy infusion of things. And then I've been always like a dubstep, like garage slash drum and bass jungle
For real.
kid
Mm.
as
Yeah,
well.
same.
Like I've always
Dubstep was
yeah,
the
it's
one.
because
What
Like
else?
UKF.
yeah,
like, brought
I grew up
us
on that. I used to buy the CDs from
Literally.
Morrison's. I used to go Morrison's.
I used to
the
buy them.
CDs.
I used to LimeWire them, bro. Like, I was too young to go outside. I used to LimeWire them and
Riddle-
break my home computer. Man.
Riddling the home computer with all of the viruses.
But
Bro,
yeah,
I got a virus from a photo of Randy Orton pulling down the trousers of John Cena. I don't even know why I downloaded it, bro. I don't even know why. I seen it. It was just John Cena's ass cheeks, and I got a Trojan. Like,
well, yeah,
my dad beat the shit out of me, bro. He's like, who broke the PC? It wasn't me, dad.
it was
wasn't
John
me.
Cena's ass cheeks.
It's from Bebo. It's from Bebo back in the day, like from my sister. It's from Bebo.
Oh,
And it's
man.
like, why didn't it say John Cena, Randy Orton? My sister thinks they're hot. Nah, it was probably me thinking they were hot, bro. Like, I don't know if I'm like, it was weird, man. It was weird.
But now, fucking crazy guy.
Fucking funny, man.
But yeah, just the whole thing, like, and I was gonna say funny story. You probably heard of Bar 9. I've probably told you that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Troy knows the story.
Yeah,
I think.
Troy knows. We're in the studio, man. Their old studio.
Literally, Bar 9 Studios. Ours now. man.
We're in the old Bar 9 studio, like where Bar 9 used to produce most of their like tracks. We like the big tracks. We're there now.
You know what I mean? So hopefully it manifests.
Hopefully,
Energy.
man. Hopefully, maybe one day when this whole lockdown thing's over, we'll do another one of these live things from your studio, man, and we'll maybe have some sort
100%.
of
We'll get the cameras
live,
out.
like mix along DJ things and some live things. So,
Bro,
Yeah.
we've planned for you before we've even told you.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's mainly me that's been like, obviously we've both had it, but I've been pushing it to Martin, be like, bro. So I'm like, bro, when we're touring, when we go in America, I'm like, bro, bring Troy. He's sick with the camera. And then when we're chilling, let's get the whiskeys. Let's go to all the live events in the UK. I mean, in the US, let's do signings. Let's go to the wrestling signings. Let's
we'll do
see
it, man.
Sid Vicious with his broken ass shin. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, come on. I can't wait. It's gonna be mad. For real, for real.
Sweet. I'll tell you what,
Manifest.
we'll have a quick break, and then we'll jump back in afterwards in a few minutes' time, and we'll start chatting more about music specifically to games and some
Yeah,
favorite
bro.
soundtracks and
Yeah, no
influential ones and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll jump back in shortly. Stay tight, stay tuned.
Pull up.
We'll see you in a moment. Woo woo! Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for holding on. There were a couple of technical issues, just getting other people on board with the conversation. But we are back, and we now have everyone that we need. We may still have Dom dropping in shortly as well. But speaking of the devil, right on cue, here he is, our man Dom.
How do you do?
Yeah, good man, good. So we've got
Big up.
Martin and Brandon on from 1712.
Yo,
Got
what's
Saying
up,
everyone.
Martin from the Pandemic Party Pirate Podcast Ting. And we've got my man Dom, graphic design illustrator extraordinaire. How are we, boys?
Hello.
Is everyone all right?
How do you do?
Everyone
Good,
blessed.
good, man.
Wavy,
Awesome.
wave.
Thanks for joining me on this fairly impromptu live stream chat, but it's always good to see all of your faces. So we're talking specifically about music this evening, and music within games and soundtracks. I know we touched on that briefly a couple of weeks ago in the first episode, if you like, of this whole thing. But yeah, I wanted to delve into that a little more and talk about kind of your musical influences, what you enjoy, and favorite soundtracks from games, and kind of why music really makes a game and gives it that kind of that extra level. We'll go to Martin. Martin first.
Which one?
Oh, Martin down below.
The one.
Oh, okay.
I say down below. I mean, I don't know how it looks on your screen. For me, he's
You're up top.
there.
Top.
Okay, which one?
Here
That
we go.
Martin's down there. This Martin's up here.
You, my
Nah,
man.
you go first, mate. I go by Martius anyway, so he would have called me that.
You know.
Okay. All right, cool. Sorry. I'm up above here for you lot. How you doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, I mean, music, man. It's what? Okay. Do you want to repeat the question? You completely lost me.
No worries at all, man. So we're talking about musical influences, and kind of very, very briefly, kind of the music that you listen to and enjoy, but then talking about games specifically, or soundtracks and music within games specifically, and games that have stood out to you because of their music and the score that was used within that.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember last time, I said the game that really sets it apart for me was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The music in that was so iconic, and it wasn't particularly complex, but just a few little notes, and you're back there, you know. And it's especially for games that I think that works. That simplistic, you know, it's like it's why Star Wars games always work as well, because they keep that simplistic classical vibe that Star Wars have always got going on.
The orchestral.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's
Intensity behind it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any examples, but I'm sure I have where games have tried a little bit too hard
Yeah.
in terms of music, and it makes the game unmemorable.
Probably The Last of Us.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
topical as the second one just dropped today as well. So
Yep.
I think it's the game. The game was good. The soundtrack was just like trying too hard. You know what I'm saying?
do you reckon?
Yeah,
Mm.
that's it. I need to get the second one. It's on the list. I don't really remember the music from the first one. If I'm honest.
Exactly. It tries so hard that you kind of overthink it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
Whereas Ocarina of Time is a classic. Like, even being born in '99, like, I played it and
Yeah.
it just sticks. It sticks.
That's it. Just that. Are
Exactly.
you there on
Wavy.
your pony or whatever it was called, mincing around?
Exactly. It's a banger.
That's
Yeah,
it.
man. Dom, what about you? Same kind of question to you. Games that stand out for you musically, soundtracks, ones that you'd enjoyed, particularly highlights and stuff like that.
I tell you one that's probably underrated. I was thinking about it from the last time we were speaking, right? And this only came up because I was watching a podcast um, where they brought all the cast of Lord of the Rings together,
Oh yeah.
and they had the guy who did the music.
Okay.
So the music for the Lord of the Rings obviously amazing,
Mhm.
but the way they carried it over into the Shadow of Mordor, if you played that,
Yeah. Absolutely.
like they kept the same they kept the same feeling, which I think is impressive because
Yeah.
some things you can have music from a game, or you could just have they just feel two separate entities. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this, the music made it the transition smooth. I thought anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
That was a good underrated one.
Yeah.
In
my
terms of
charger?
favorites. I got a couple of favorites. You got like Crash Bandicoot, like that. I'm pretty sure I had that as a ringtone for a bit.
I was gonna say Monkey Ball, man.
Super Monkey Ball.
Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, I've got that on
the
the
soundtrack
GameCube.
on that was
cool,
insane.
man.
I don't think I ever played that.
Oh mate, Super Monkey Ball was a lot of fun.
Come on, man. You need to revisit it. If
Yeah.
not, just watch like YouTube, like
Just buy a DS and an R4 card and download Super Monkey Ball.
Well, do you know what I might do? That's one of the things I'm thinking of doing on this this channel is some kind of playthroughs of some old games, and I've got Super Monkey Ball on the GameCube. So doing something similar to this, and then kind of having a playthrough and watching playthrough, and just kind of having a nostalgia thing over the top might be quite fun.
Yeah,
So I'll fire up the GameCube. I realised I think I lent my mum my Nintendo Wii just before lockdown, so she had something to play on. But because it's kind of backwards compatible with GameCube, gave her all my GameCube pads and was like, "Hang on, I've still got my GameCube, and I've got
my Wii
nothing to play." So ordered a new GameCube pad the other week, and now I'm like, right, what have I got on it? What can I play? So I got like Mario Kart Double Dash and Lord of the Rings Return of the King, Baldur's Gate, From Russia with Love, Star Wars Rogue Leader.
Oh, these are classics, man.
So
Leader.
Metroid Prime. So what's the other one? The Zelda, is it the Twilight Princess? So
recently
That was awesome.
Pokemon
That
Stadium.
was awesome, yeah.
Pokemon Stadium, yeah.
Zelda games do.
N64
usually tend to be
Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
I've got the Pikachu like controller, like bro, it just brings me back. It brings me back.
Nice.
You know, I was watching today. I don't know why. It came on YouTube and it just, you know, when it auto plays whatever. A Pokemon Snap, a Pokemon Snap playthrough came on, and I was just sitting there watching it, and I was like, "Yo, this game's awesome."
Bro, the games back in the day, like my favorite Pokemon was Pokemon Yellow, man. I used to have it on the GBA. I had the GBA. I had just the Game Boy. All of them, like every single game that come with me, because I had the little pouch. You know, them pouches that come with the Game Boy, like with the original Game Boy, like the pouches. I got the yellow one for the Pokemon Yellow. Pokemon Yellow was my thing. It was Pokemon Yellow. It was Tetris, and it was I can't even remember the other game still, but Pokemon Yellow was like always in my Game Boy, man. Like Yellow is the main one. Like Dungeons and all that stuff was good, but Yellow and like Platinum were like my ones in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. I spent about 6 months saving up all the money from my paper round to get myself a Game Boy Color, the see-through pink and purple one. Pokemon Yellow. That was through mail order. Saving it up, giving my mum the fucking cash, and she wrote a check and sent it off.
Did you not ever buy the little torch that came with the Game Boy, where you plug it into the little cable?
Yeah. And even then, it was still fucking so hard to play at night.
Bro, I bought it. Like I had it as a kid, and I thought I should have just brought a flashlight for £1 from Bossman, like from the pound shop. Like I should have bought a flashlight and just duct taped it to my face.
That's it. Yeah.
I saw a thing not long ago. Actually, I know we've deviated a little from music, but there's a couple of things here that were quite amusing. I remember seeing a video not too long ago. There was a fishing game on the GameCube, and there was you put the cartridge in, then there was an attachment that essentially you dropped into the water, and it detected by sonar where there was fish. And this guy had managed to get like an original, like OG version of that.
Was
and
it real fish?
Was it what?
Was it called like real fish or
something like that? And
yeah,
you dropped a
I had that
plumb line thing or whatever it is into the water. Yeah. And this thing's like fucking 25, 30 years old and it still works.
Bro, it was crazy. I
Yeah, man.
well, when I was a kid, when I had no internet, my three things were like, for some reason, my dad let me play poker as a kid. So I was playing poker. I was playing real fish, and I was playing paint. And obviously, being born in '99, this was like 2005,
Right.
bro. But
He was basically
I was
a
living.
6-year-old, 30-year-old.
I was a 6-year-old, 30-year-old. I was living in 1990, like I was living in like 1996, but I was born in '99. Like, bro, like I was poor. That's one game. It was peak. It was
Well,
peak.
to be fair, because you guys are talking about all the GameCubes and that. I had a bootleg N64 and I was playing Duck Hunt. And what I used to do is I used to have all the the gun, and I used to go and I'll put it in front of the TV and I'll just shoot him up. I'll literally stick the gun next to the TV, like
Just right up against the.
yeah, and I'll just slap it on it and I'll just shoot him up, man. I used to play Duck Hunt and what was that game? The elevator game.
An elevator game.
Oh, bro.
The elevator games where you like spirit ghosts and
No. Not elevate. Bro, this was my elevator game N64. This game, me and my cousin, we used to rinse it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nah, Super Mario and Toy Story 2.
Nah, I need to find it. Nah, you guys carry on. Oh, there it is. This one.
Oh, go
It's
on.
literally called Elevator Action. It was in the-
It was a ROM. Yeah, it was one of the bootleg ROMs.
Yeah. NES. No, it's an original game.
Is it?
Yeah, it's called Elevator Action.
Okay.
Bro, yeah, this game is insane. Like, if you
It
don't know,
reminds me of like Miami, or what's it called, Miami Vice or something.
if you
or
don't know about
Miami Heat or something, that on the PlayStation, like the reboot or something.
if you don't know about Elevator
That's the
Action,
Sega reboot.
if you don't know about Elevator Action,
Pop
don't
it in
at
the
me.
comments, man. Get people to have a
Don't
look.
at
Pop that in the comments.
That
Um,
reminds me of like my parents, like, well, obviously my first console was the PlayStation 1, and then I went back because obviously my parents were born in like 73, 74. So when I was born, I had the original PlayStation 1 until it broke, and then I got the PlayStation 1 Slim. And my first game properly was Time Crisis, but we had the collector's
Nice.
and we had the collector's edition of Mortal Kombat. But I used to sit there with the guns, and I thought, yo, this is so ahead of its time. Even though I was a kid and there was nothing ahead, I just thought, this is amazing.
It's like
and
the
then I
old
s-
Namco go, the Nakon, or whatever gun it was.
Nakon guns, like
yeah,
the grey
the
guns. I've
Nakon
still got them.
45. Yeah, man.
I've still got them, but then I realized the guns didn't even really work. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of auto locked on for you. Like,
Yeah.
I was there like aiming, like yeah, but I realized they didn't even fucking work, bro. I should use a controller, like.
So as a kid, I got a hand-me-down Super Nintendo off my next door with neighbour.
Yeah.
A boatload of American games with it as well. One of the things it had, do you remember the fucking bazooka laser gun that the SNES had?
Yeah. Oh,
I had
mate,
one of those.
yeah.
That was
I had
fucking
a-
amazing.
I had the remastered SNES that Argos sold for like £25. Like, you know,
Nice.
when it came with like Echo the Dolphin and all
Oh,
that shit, and like
mate.
Streets
That
of Rage
game was
4.
awesome.
Oh, Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Mate, I've got Streets of Rage 4, the new one on PS4, man. That's cool.
That's
Is it good?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it-
awesome, man. Really.
I'm gonna
really
buy
good.
it tomorrow. Then.
Streets of Rage. I've got a vest like Drop Dead from
Yeah,
Bring Me
yeah,
Horizon,
yeah.
the lead singer. Back in the day, like years ago, I went to Sheffield and I went to the warehouse and I bought the whole like Sega collection. So it had
Nice.
like Echo the Dolphin t-shirt, it had Streets of Rage, and it had something else. And I just bought them. I've still got the Streets of Rage like vest. So whenever I go like gym or workout, I just put on the Streets of Rage and I'm there like, make me look like a 2D character. Like, make me look like Dragon Ball Z right now. Like, for real.
So we've deviated slightly off topic, which is all good. It's all good. Like I say, like I have said all along, this is like an open forum about everything and anything. But just getting back to music slightly, and I know a little before we came onto this overall live chat this evening, me and Marty were talking about the Need for Speed games, the Need for Speed Underground games, and there were some really iconic tracks in there. So it's a game where the soundtrack was fucking awesome, and it had some bangers on there. It wasn't a bespoke soundtrack in that those songs weren't made for that game. So it's not
It-
like something where there's like, you know, a score that's composed for it, but the songs that made up that game soundtrack were fucking
Yeah.
awesome. And I remember just being like,
Yeah.
I'd never heard of like Little John before that game, and then every time I heard it, I was just like,
Little
to the
John.
windows
Windows!
every time. You know,
You have version 206.
I remember speaking to like mates that were like, heavy metal fans, man. And as soon as that game came out, they were just like, yeah, Little John's a shit. I'm like,
What?
you listen to heavy metal, what you on about? They're like, yeah, but it's a Little John there, isn't it?
And that-
Well,
that
weirdly enough,
What soundtrack do you think was better than Troy? What soundtrack do you think was better than the Need for Speed games or the Burnout games?
Oh, that's
Need for
tough,
Need
man.
for Speed.
Need for Speed.
You reckon?
Burnout.
I mean, Paradise was all right, but
Paradise
you
was
can't
good.
beat Underground 2 and Most Wanted.
Exactly.
Most-
They were
most
just,
haunted.
Most Wanted
Most
was
Wanted
awesome.
soundtrack was the one. We're talking Static
Oh,
X.
mate.
We're talking
Static-
Static X, and we're talking, you get like, I think, not Penium, but Prodigy on there?
Prodigy was on there.
Yeah, Prodigy,
Yeah.
Static X. We're
Yeah.
talking about some hip hop like classics on there.
Simon
It was
says,
alternative hip hop
It
though.
was-
It
yeah.
wasn't
That's
just
it.
mainstream.
And
It was
Exactly.
alternative.
I mean, the soundtrack on that got me into what is now pretty much my favourite band of all time, fucking Skindred.
oh, of
And
course.
Skindred are
nobody
amazing.
was on
Yeah.
that. I fucking
Kindred
love
are
them.
way
Just,
better.
Yeah.
And it
Go
got
on,
me
go on.
into Cell Dweller as
Mhm.
well. I'd never heard those before, and I forget what they're called now. But the song Cell Dweller did, it was like with a new school, old school rap duo, I think it
Mhm.
is, and it got me into them as well. They're
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Mm,
So
I agree.
it was such an iconic soundtrack. It really fucking was.
Simon in the comments says Riders of the Storms at the Snoop Dogg like version of that,
Yes.
which was pretty cool, man. I remember that.
That's literally the first
bro.
track you hear. You
Yeah.
open up the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
the
Riders of
loading
the
screen is
Storm.
Riders on the
La, la, la,
Storm.
Yeah,
Mm.
And then
Riders
just
on.
quickly going
That's
back
a
to
different song.
what
No,
Martin
but it's like
said
Snoop Dogg's like
is,
amazing.
Yeah,
you
true,
know what I'm
true.
saying? He
Yeah.
always does it on all his tracks.
about Skindred, and this is something I saw today. There's apparently plans. I can't remember if it's Live Nation or someone, but there's plans for them to do.
Nation.
You know, like those open top like cinema things, like those drive-through cinemas they used to have in the States. They're now doing drive-up open gigs, car park, and they separate the car park into these big square bits, and you rock up and you have basically a square that you dance in with your car, and that's how you're going to be watching gigs from now on for like a distancing thing. And Skindred are one of the bands that have been announced for it, and I think it might be at the Rico in Coventry.
Let's
So-
pull up. Yo,
I
Troy.
haven't seen
Troy.
I haven't seen the dates for the Rico, but I follow Skindred on Facebook, and there's been 3 dates for this drive-in the gig. I think there's one up in Sheffield, one in London. I think Manchester's the other one. I'll share it to you. Share it to your page
Yeah,
after.
do it, man. That'd be awesome. So, yeah,
Let's
that
go.
looks like the way that
Let's
kind
go.
of live music gigs that are going forward. Like I was meant to be seeing Ramstein this month at Coventry, and obviously that's been cancelled, man.
See,
I love
Rammstein.
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 Rammstein will win.
I was introduced by my auntie.
Is it?
Yeah, my
Your auntie
auntie.
introduced you to Ramstein.
Bruh, my auntie, yeah, she's that, pretty standard
Standard
Slavic
Bulgarian auntie.
Bulgarian auntie, but she drives a 4 Series Beamer and she listens to Sean Paul, 50 Cent, and Rammstein, and she blasts it.
For real.
Like,
And
she
bro,
blasts it, and
it's
she-
a nice beamer.
Bruv,
It's a nice beamer.
She's a G. Like you look
Motion
at,
drive things.
bro, you look at, she pulls up on the street and she's blasting that music, and you look at it and it's like, right, I don't understand that, but I respect it. Like I can't say shit. Like anyone, no one says shit. She's just hardcore. And then I was a youth, and then she even before she had that car, like since day, she'd be fucking with Rammstein, and we'd be listening to like Rosenrot and all these albums, and I'm like,
Mhm.
bro, that's crazy. And I think that because if you're talking Rammstein, they are the composition of the tracks is insane.
Oh,
Like
they're
they've
awesome,
got
man.
melodic stuff like Angel,
Yeah,
Angel.
it's incredible.
Track is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
insane. Is insane. Like just the way you got the intro and the build up and the composition on the Rammstein tracks is
Mhm.
insane. So Rammstein is one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hands down.
They're legendary, man.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're
For me,
cool, man.
Rammstein like kind of like Slipknot,
Yeah.
like in their own
With the
respective genres.
European version. Yeah.
Exactly, in their own
Mhm.
like respective genres and like areas. They're like OG. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them bands where they could. It's I think it's like the new age like Black Sabbath, Metallica type
Yeah.
stuff. Like Slipknot, I think are going to be like the new like Metallica, where it's going to be like
For that
That
generation of
you know what I mean? That OG metal band that just stays around, where
Kind of
even
look back on them
the
like that.
generation,
Yeah. I
for
get
real,
you.
like Slipknot, like the first album was when I was born. It was the year I was born. But like people my age, even the younger generations, like the new emos coming through, like these kids love it as well.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
the same as like Metallica, like it's generational because they're so just creative and they have the melodic vibes, but then they have the heavy things as well. And it's just like I feel like these like Rammstein, Slipknot, Skillet,
Skillet.
even as controversial as it sounds,
Paramore was my shit.
I feel like as controversial as it sounds, I feel like Nickelback has almost been a
Oh, mate.
generational back.
Come on now. Why would you do
Like
that?
for real.
You leave Chad Kroger alone.
Oh no! He's fair game. He's fair game.
Fucking Chad Kroger, mate. Come on.
I genuinely feel though, like a lot of people, like if you ignore the memes and if you ignore the jokes, like there's actually a few bangers in between the trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, easy.
Like for real, because we all want to live like real rock stars.
Yeah, the thing is, once
Yeah.
you've had a few beers, if you're in a club and that comes on, you're like, fuck it, why not?
For real, like
I get you. I get you.
I'm a fanboy.
I say
it's
that.
like-
I've done that, man. As much as I slate them, I'm like, yeah.
Exactly. There's bands that I hate. Like for my generation, the band that I hated was like Sleeping with Sirens. That was the band I hated, right? But then when Kellen Quinn, Pierce the Veil comes on, like, bro, I'm like, oh, I hate it, but I can't. You know, you need to give homage where like genuinely good music is made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's all like based on opinions, it's contextual, but it's like, bro, everyone can understand who actually understands music that good music is made. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of wrapping things up fairly shortly, but just a couple of quick questions, few quick fire things before we finish. So, I know this is something I posed to Marty earlier, in regards to if you could compose the soundtrack for a game, what would it be? Based on kind of your taste in music, your influences and stuff like that.
It's because it's like we didn't really say what our influence is like. I mean, musically, like I learned a lot from, talking like GTA, and because when I started playing like GTA 3, San Andreas was one of my biggest influence, because you got radio stations so diverse that you know, just driving and not even paying attention, but you catch like some country song on K Rose, and it's like, bro, fuck with that. That's fucking sick.
Especially with like the scene sets it, like when you drive out towards like the kind of the outback bit or whatever it is, like
the outback in its East Coast
of that, and then you hear it. Yeah.
It's
crazy.
You know what I mean? That was diverse. It's crazy. Like the amount of songs I used to rip. Literally every game I used to play, I used to rip like any ways, I just find all the soundtracks and I just download them. Like when we're talking like Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2,
that's another one that we haven't mentioned. The first Tony Hawk soundtrack is absolutely iconic, man.
Underground 1 and 2 soundtracks.
One.
That's getting a re-release this year, as man. The
Exactly.
Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
And the soundtrack is near enough untouched, apart from a couple of licenses they can't have. But I mean, like Underground 2 was crazy. Like Disturbed, Lamb of God, Johnny Cash. Like all of them, bro. It opened up, like if you was a young kid playing that game, which we were all young ass kids playing that game. It's mainly your parents listen to probably like Frank Sinatra and Johnny Cash, and then you come downstairs to your parents and like, eyeballing on a burning ring of fire, and it burns, and you're like, and they look at you and think,
how do you know that?
What? And then I feel like it helps create that, like, as probably as weird as it sounds, it helps create that bond with parents, because then you're like, you relate, and then you kind of have an inside joke, and then they always bring it up, and then it becomes like a family thing. You know what I mean? Like where even me, like we're my family, like my parents listen to like UB40 like religiously, and it's like red wine. Like I know that shit, and then like you listen to it, and then it just reminds you of like parenthood, you
nostalgia.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it. Like literally, if I had to, I don't know. It'll be. I'd love to obviously sound like anything like GTA, and
Mhm.
that would be amazing. But
Okay.
GTA is like all the radio station. It's mainly
Mhm.
like, But if we put apart the radio stations, even the intros, like fucking Vice City intro, even the GTA 3 intro, I
Oh
usually just
man, yeah.
make
Baseline.
yeah, I just go on YouTube and then just put like GTA 3 theme song and I just rinse that
Mm.
and whatever
The
GTA.
GTA 5 soundtrack, the song was good. 4, the one with, was it Nico? Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro,
the,
that's
the
so
main
heavy.
tune to that was just that's
Bro.
so
Dun,
Yeah.
That's
dun,
the
dun,
thing.
dun,
That's
dun,
Yeah.
that's the thing with five as well. I love five because it gets updated. So they have the
Mm.
Frank Sinatra, not the Frank Sinatra, sorry, the Frank Ocean Blonde radio station,
Mm.
and then they add in new songs like Lil Uzi and
Mm.
like Young Thug, and it's like everything's generationalized, but then it's like it
They
all
had
kind of like compacts into
Yeah,
one.
they had
Well,
the Flying Lotus. If you've ever heard of Flying Lotus,
Yeah, of
Yeah,
fucking
bro,
course.
awesome.
Flying Lotus,
Flying Lotus had
crazy.
his own station on the last
Yeah.
GTA, and yeah,
Bro,
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Even
Man.
even if you go on GTA Online now, you get Skepta. Like you
Literally,
get
Skepta,
Skepta,
DWE.
Nice.
DWE,
DWE. I've been listening to
No,
DWE
D Block,
recently,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
literally.
D Block
Street
Europe.
Fighter
Like,
Rhythm.
Street Fighter Rhythm.
Street Fighter
Yeah,
Rhythm.
you know, man.
Pimps, you get like, you ain't getting on your CDs back, you know what I mean?
so if anything, I'd love to make the intro track for a GTA game.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. I like that.
Like for a quick touch,
Nice,
just to
nice.
like jump for 10 seconds. Like for me, I would forget 2K. I would bring in SmackDown versus Raw again, and for me,
Yes.
I wouldn't add all these old school. I would add the new school. Like I said earlier to
Mhm.
you on like when it was just us.
Yeah,
I'd bring in like Partway Drive, Architects.
yeah.
I'd bring in the newer heavy metal bands, and
Okay.
I'd bring back like the NXT vibe, the metal vibe.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good shout. Dom or Martin, have you got anything that you can bring? Or do you need a moment?
Go on then.
Okay, you got anything, Martin?
Yeah, well, I'm a huge sci-fi geek, so I would want to make like this sci-fi opera game with a classical dubstep.
Oh shit!
Mix.
Like with a proper dub, like Bang and Cocky type.
That's it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of mix between the two. You flying through space. It's nice, chilled out bit of classical. Then you hear this wobble bass come in as you look on your radar. Some enemy ships starting firing at you. And you're like, fuck.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's a good shout, man. Dom, if you haven't got anything, then I've
I got
got
one.
something. You got one? Yeah, cool.
So,
You go ahead, man.
if I was doing a soundtrack, it would be I don't know what game, because there's various games that could go for it. But you know the song 10,000 Fists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know the little riff, like the intro bit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Riffs.
My songs would be like that because it kind of reminds me of like how that film Baby Driver.
Oh,
And
mate.
Fuck it.
That's Yo, if you're talking movies,
I
that's probably
like
one
that
of the
when
best soundtracks.
Yeah.
I play things according to.
Them, man.
I'll listen to music according to what I'm playing. So if I'm playing like a beat 'em up or something, I want something that's gonna get me going. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Aggie music.
those type of
Yeah.
tunes, they get me going.
Aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'd be on something like that.
That's awesome.
Driver 3.
There's,
Driver 3, you want to listen to that gangster like selling cocaine.
There's, I can't remember what it's called now. There's a game that's coming out, and it's kind of a cross between sort of God of War and Guitar Hero. So to hit the enemies, you do it in time with the music, and the music's just like just
like
really,
the VR,
that.
really heavy metal music. They've got loads of guest vocalists, like they've got Matt from Trivium, a couple of other vocalists from like these kind of like death metal, black metal bands, but it's a really heavy soundtrack. But you go around like slashing stuff, but it has to be in time with the beat of the music. So like that's a pretty cool one.
If they do shit like that, they need to bring back things like Papa the Rapper.
Rapper the Rapper,
Oh,
yeah.
Parappa is Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, man.
Parappa the
on the back on the PS2.
Yeah.
Kick
Bro,
Punch, yeah, I remember that,
I
man.
used to play Playboy Mansion, like bro, Playboy Mansion and Here Comes the Pain. That was like my shit.
For me, and it's similar to what Martin said, it would be around a sci-fi game, and specifically and it is topical because you're going to be streaming this tomorrow. A playthrough of it, Martin, is Dead Space, and I love it's that sci-fi, and it's that cross between it's horror and it's sci-fi, and for me it's essentially like Resident Evil in space, and I love those
Silent Hill.
like
Silent Hill as well.
kind of visceral like dissonant sounding kind of like soundtracks and scores where they're just really eerie, but they've got that kind of like industrial sounding, like industrial kind of ambience to them. But then, if you've ever heard of a producer called Rezo, Reso, it's incredible, and Rezo uses so many computer game like samples and stuff.
I feel like Rezo mixes his sound with like computer games and natural sound.
He does, massively. And for me, like if I was going to make soundtracks for games, it would sound like his stuff, and specifically it would be for something like Dead Space, because he really manages to find that kind of that eeriness and that kind of that like eerie kind of build up, and then just kind of hits you like a like that.
I think what was his name? Sorry to interrupt. RJ2D.
RJD2.
Yeah,
RJD2. Yeah, he's cool, man.
He made the soundtrack for Mark Echo's Getting Up. Some of the intro tracks. And that's another game that
Mark Echo's Getting Up.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it's like the most. Bro, we got it on Steam. It's so.
Oh my god,
so
beautiful.
Check out the soundtrack for, just before we finish up, a Dutch trio, drum and bass trio called Noisia. Noisia did, if I remember, they did the Devil May Cry 4 soundtrack. I think they did.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome, man. So
like more of the remastered like PS3 kind of era, like sounds like
So
crazy.
give that,
because that's when the Turtle Beaches with the 3D audio came in.
That's it.
You need that ambience to it, because it's like if you have like a horror type game with the ambience, you need that like you need that more natural sounding, because you could be walking down the alleyway and you hear the dustbin like fall over, and then you treat it like it's a snare or a percussion. You know what I mean? Like you need the natural sounds to almost sound like real life. Like, well, you need the natural sounds to sound like drum kits. You know what I'm saying? Like the snares, the hi hats, the kicks in the sub bass. The sub bass is like the eeriness of the cars. Like you know what I mean?
I'm agreed, man. Well, we're gonna wrap up, chaps. It's been really, really good as always chatting to you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
hopefully we'll do this. No worries, man. Hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime soon and make this more of a regular thing. And it's just fucking keep this thing going, keep this train moving. Whatever's going on in this crazy world outside of us, let's keep this thing going and support each other and have a laugh while we're doing it.
100%.
Sweet.
I'm literally listening to the Need for Speed playlist now. Static playing right now.
If there's one takeaway from this evening, it's go off and listen to the Need for Speed Underground soundtrack. Get that in your life this weekend. And while you're at it, give 1712's new EP a listen.
Come on, Troy.
Right. So this has been great. Once again, thank you guys. Look after yourselves. And we'll do this again sometime soon. All right.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.
Woo!